What's up, guys? JSwag coming back at you for another manga chapter review. This time we got Beserk chapter 373, The Rusty Rings That Bind. This chapter is amazing. I was reading this last night and I was like, oh my god, like I need to make a review on this chapter. It's 2 weeks old and I've seen nothing on this chapter on social media, anything. I'm so surprised no one's talking about it. Koji Mori and Studio Gaga, I feel like with this chapter have solidified themselves as great successors for this series, and I love where they're going with this chapter and the one before, Casca's chapter. I think I'm going to review that later on, because that's kind of like totally separate from this chapter, but it's still super cool. I love what they did with that one, but I love what they did with this one even more. So let's get right into it. We're starting off back on the ship. We're with the whole crew again, and we have Serpico going to get Isidro, who is just waiting out here on the ship. He's in bad spirits right now. Understandably, he just lost his kind of pseudo-girlfriend in Yzma, the mermaid that we've had on the crew for a while. She disappeared with all the other mythological creatures that were at Elfhelm. So he's down in the dumps right now, understandably, but Serpico is coming to get him because Shirake is about to do a magic ritual, and they need everyone's help and everyone's consciousness focused on this ritual. And Isidro's kind of like, yeah, whatever, dude, like, who cares? And Serpico's like, dude, like, everyone who was lost at Elfhelm, it's sad that they were lost, but we're lucky that we weren't tied to that island, and we're lucky that we still have a powerful mage in Shirake who can help us locate Casca. So he's like, there's still hope here, and he's just trying to motivate Isidro here, and he really needs it. And Isidro is kind of a parallel to Guts here, and like, as much as Isidro doesn't like to admit it, Guts is kind of like his dad, and his dad kind of just like got the crap beat out of him. It's like, you see your dad like totally take an L. It's like, you're going to be down in the dumps too. So this is very understandable for Isidro to feel like this. But we're going to the ritual, and the art for this is like just amazing, man. Like, we get this great panel of Shirake like in her little pose, and there's candles around her and all the other people are around her, and it looks amazing. And we get Magnifico, like, oh, this is the dark arts, and they're like, do you really just want us to like watch here and like not do anything? And Shirake's like, I need everyone to like be focused on one thing, and even if you don't have magical power, your consciousness focusing on one place. She says one place. She needs everyone to focus on one place. I'm guessing that they just need to think where Casca is, and then that, because Beserk's magic system kind of works on the power of belief, so like, if they're thinking about even the general idea of where Casca could be in their mind, then that is going to help Shrike use her powers to locate her. So we have Shrike going into the astral world. It's beautiful, and she's like going out of the ship, and she's seeing the branches of the world tree. And she's noticing that there's odd, which is like the magical energy of this series. There's odd flowing through the branches, and they're all flowing to a certain point. And this is obviously the world tree's base, Falconia, where Griffith is. And so she is perceiving and assuming, I'm guessing, that where all this odd leaves is where Griffith is, and then that would lead to where Casca is. So she is going to travel this dragon path, and presumably her spectral form is going to be going to Falconia. I think what's going to happen with this is she might meet Sonia on the way before she actually gets to Falconia, because we know that along with Griffith, Sonia is the only other one who is able to travel along the dragon path, or you can travel along it, but if you're not Sonia or Griffith, you will just get lost and not know where you're going. So potential for Sonia to meet up with Shirake on this journey that she's having. But then we're cutting back to Guts, and Guts is just in a bad way. He's in the I guess the bow of the ship, and we see these rats scurrying around, and this is really giving me like a dungeon depths, bowels of the dungeon vibe. And it almost looks like, because he has his hand, it shows the rats and then it shows his hand reaching, and I almost thought he was reaching for the rats to like eat them, and I thought that maybe was a callback to Cheek, the flower spirit in the Golden Age flashback that we see Guts befriend, and then puts a flower in the field, because there was a rat nibbling on Cheech's flower, and that was causing Cheech to not be able to manifest fully, but then Guts grabs the rat and eats it, and then Cheech is able to manifest, heal Guts, and then that's how that storyline progresses. So I thought that this might have been a little callback to that, but Guts is down bad. He's crawling towards the Dragon Slayer, and we have the Beast of Darkness manifesting, and the Beast of Darkness is laughing at him and taunting him, and he's like, "You want it, don't you? You want power." And we get this beautiful panel of the Beast of Darkness fully manifested on top of the Dragon Slayer, and it looks like the chains that the one blacksmith on Elfhelm was using to restrain the Beserk armor are like all broken at the dog's feet. So this is just such a beautiful panel. It's like tattoo worthy right there. But Guts doesn't want to give in. He's grabbing the sword and he's trying to lift it, and he's struggling, and it looks like the Beast of Darkness is like taking over, and he's just barely lifting it off the ground, and the Beast of Darkness is taking over just from him struggling to lift it up. So that shows us where Guts is at this point. The Berserker armor has taken so much out of him that at this point, like this, he can't fight anymore unless he fully gives into the armor. So it's not looking good for Guts here, man. Like, and then with what happens next, as Guts is picking up the sword, a manifestation of Griffith appears on top of the sword, weighing it down. A callback to Griffith and Guts' first fight when Guts swings the sword and Griffith jumps on top of it. It's pretty much just like that panel, but Griffith is actually like gripping the sword with his toes here, which is kind of funny. I saw a Reddit thread about that, and the comments on it were wild. But Guts is almost like getting an actual he's having a physical violent reaction to this. It's almost as if the brand of sacrifice isn't reacting, but it's almost as if he's getting all the effects of Griffith actually being there without the brand going off. So this just shows how much Griffith has an effect on Guts, and this caused Guts to just pass out. And this leads us into my absolute favorite part of the chapter. This is almost like a poem of the Beast of Darkness. He's walking around Guts, taunting him, and he says, "You cannot deny me. That brand limits you. You cannot deny me. That flesh restrains you. Your flesh, your blood, the creaking of your bones, your pain, even your soul. Yield them all to me. Your all. If you do..." Ha ha ha. And that is just beautiful, man. That is like, oh my gosh, such good writing. People were saying with Studio Gaga and Koji Mori, like the first few chapters they put out, there wasn't much dialogue. It was all kind of just visual storytelling, and people were worried, like, are they going to be able to capture the same kind of dialogue and storytelling that Kentaro Miura could? And with this, man, like, this is some of my favorite dialogue in all of Berserk right here. Like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I love it. But anyway, we're cutting back to the ritual, and more shit going down. Windows breaking, smoke bombs coming through the windows, grapple hooks coming through the windows. Everyone's like, what's going on? What's happening? And we get Kushins invading the ship, man. Like, oh my gosh. I feel like everyone was wondering, like, what's the party gonna be doing now? Like, what's gonna be happening with the party? Well, here's something for us to wonder about. Like, we have Kushins in the mix now. This, I want to point a couple things out about this. In the panels where we see the Kushins invading, we don't see Isidro there. So I'm thinking that when Serpico came to get Isidro in the beginning of the chapter, Isidro never went to the ritual. So Isidro might be a little rogue in these coming up chapters, trying to like maybe free some of the guys. Also, there's not even a drop of blood shed in these Kushin panels. So no one's getting attacked. No one's getting hurt. So are the Kushins fully bad? They're kind of like infiltrating the ship like they're pirates and they're gonna like raid everything, but I don't know. These guys could be maybe possibly tied to Salat and Daiba, who's with Rickard right now. I would love that. If you think about it, who is the next in charge of the Kushin forces after Ganishka dies? It'd probably be Daiba, the leader and like second in command, the leader of the magic, the mages of the Kushins. I mean, he seems like he's high in the chain of command, and I know he kind of went off on his own after Ganishka died and was just chilling in Falconia doing his own thing. But if there was anyone to take a hold of the Kushin forces at this point, I think Daiba's the one to do it. And that could lead us into getting into that Rickard, Salat, Bakiraka story. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see that storyline play through. I have so many ideas because Rickard's like the Tony Stark of this storyline. Like the inventions that he can create, there's endless possibilities. And those inventions in the hands of Salat and the Bakiraka, like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking like they could become some of the most badass demon and apostle hunters that we've seen in the series, and that's like that could set up like a good little like supplementary force for Guts and the crew. Like Guts, the powerhouse he is down bad right now, and he's gonna need some help in whatever is coming up in the story. And I think that Salat and the Bakiraka could really help him, especially with Rickard there. Just equipping them with insane weapons. But we're ending the chapter here with Guts laying on the floor, Dragon Slayer in hand, and the Kushins finding him. And it ends with, trapped body and soul, what fate awaits the party? Man, June 22nd, man, that's when the next chapter comes out. I'm so excited. This chapter was amazing. The art was amazing, the dialogue was amazing, the storytelling was amazing. Oh my god, it took us back to the party, it gave us some answers, and it expanded for the story coming forward, and I'm so excited to see what happens. And yeah, man, I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully you guys stuck until the end of this review. If you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.